Steve Kovach just got back from the launch event in Brooklyn and is here with the headlines. And we care, Steve, because the big question for Apple, as we spoke with Laura Martin about, is will sales of the iPhone decelerate as users are enticed by other features on the AI front in particular that Google and Samsung and others?
I'm gonna set the scene for you, and then I'm gonna give you a history lesson. So let me set the scene for you. So what Samsung announced today are two foldable phones. They're called the Galaxy Z Flip 7 and the Galaxy Z Fold 7. Fine. We don't really care about foldable phones right now. What we're really talking about, though, Kelly, are the AI features from Google Gemini. Now, it has this thing called Gemini Live, which is Google's multimodal system for AI. It can use visuals, voice, or text to let you chat with Gemini through the camera or the microphones, etc. It also has some other features that were previously announced on other Samsung devices, like AI photo editing tools and so much more. Now, compare that to Apple, which just a month ago, we were down at WWDC, and they had minimal AI software features at that event, and we're not even expecting much more from the new iPhones that should be launching in about 2 months or so. Now, there's a cool trend going on here, Kelly, which is partnering versus building. You have Samsung here not making their own AI, but using Gemini, and we've seen Motorola do this with Perplexity, and the hardware startup Nothing do this with ChatGPT and Gemini all in one device. Now, Apple is said to be considering Anthropic to power its delayed update to Siri that's due next year. That's according to Bloomberg. And Apple is kind of, in the meantime, taking a gap year with artificial intelligence while its competitors like Samsung are not. Now, Kelly, the history lesson I was teasing here, this reminds me of early last decade when Samsung was out of the gate first with those big screens. Yes. Everyone loved them.
Phones,
Apple is doomed because they won't make a big screen phone. Apple makes a big screen phone, Samsung's left in the dust. And so there's still an opportunity for Apple to get this right next year and prove that they can keep up with their biggest competitor.
If we ran into each other, as we often do in the green room, Steve,
yes.
I was going to say
we were
hair
just
and makeup,
back there, yeah.
And you said to me, hey, Samsung's launching this new phone, boil it down, that offers XYZ. What is it exactly that you think I'd go sit and go, wow?
The Gemini Assistant. So, like, this is the idea. It can understand what's on your screen, and for example, someone sends you a message. Add this to my calendar, for example, doing that kind of stuff.
So it has
stuff
that.
Apple promised, by the way, they were going to be able to do
right.
with this new Siri, and weren't able to execute on it. We have this on these Android devices now.
So you can use it to use your phone, which is
basically
the one thing you ironically can't do with Apple, right?
Exactly.
Even though my understanding is that Apple's whole sort of competitive advantage is that it does give you that access to apps, and Siri can give you that access to apps, but it just hasn't packaged it together with AI in a very competitive
That's the thing.
way.
So Siri can kind of talk to your apps, and the whole, but it's just not perfect yet. They call it app intense. It's a really wonky way to do it. But what they're trying to do is expand on that and say, okay, you have all these apps on your phone, all these personal data on your phone. Your Delta app, for example, instead of just poking through the app and finding out your flight information, you can say, when is my flight?
Could
and
I
when
say,
should it, yeah.
And do I call it Gemini? Do I say, hey, Gemini, is my train delayed?
Exactly.
Something
that is
like
exactly
that.
What you do. And that is kind of, is it perfect? Absolutely not. But they are progressing way faster than Apple's been able to do, in part because they've been building this technology in-house for so long. Apple only started it a couple years ago. And as we learned this year, they just could not get it up to snuff in time to launch in the iPhone.